all African countries need to start looking inward. If you have been looking up, and you can't see solution, is it not time for you to look down?
Welcome to Pan-African Lifestyle, where we rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share. If you're a pal, that's a Pan-African Lifestyler.
Should we just live as a continent and believe that anything that we want, we have to go to the West to get it? Of course, no. So this is the generation that should actually change the narrative for this continent. Otherwise, we can never make it. The world is growing faster than we can ever imagine. We must equip ourselves with our own realities, and therefore we register the development that we all want. But youths have to be in the front line, and we must be equipped with quality education, well informed by the African reality, in order to realize those agendas. When we look at the way in which development is occurring, when we look at the way in which competitions are in both the financial sector, when you look at development, when you look at education, when you look at other societies being able to deal with their own development, we look at technology, for instance. We are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We're talking about artificial intelligence. We're talking about a future in which individuals must be prepared in a way that they can come up or face all challenges and then navigate a way out. And to do that, Africans must be equipped with readiness to take up responsibilities, and as well as being equipped with quality of knowledge to be able to stand those particular powers and to be able to stand those particular change, because the change is inevitable. So we must prepare for it. All African countries need to start looking inward. If you have been looking up, and you can't see solution, is it not time for you to look down? It's not a magic. It's about relying on yourself, believing on yourself, having a vision and a good leadership quality, or a good leadership that informs every individual to take up responsibility. Youths everywhere are the active forces. We have a responsibility to work hard, protect the young or emerging generation, and as well as protecting the old. Now, let me tell you this. Our education system somehow has been shaped in a way that youths are afraid of staying in their own countries, in Africa, which is, very, very negative. That even if we go outside and study, we don't think about coming back. We are like, yes, when we're done with our BSc, we go for our master's program. From our master's program, we go for PhDs, work with international organizations. Sometimes they use us as the very instrument to exploit our own people. The reason behind that is that our education have not been back with our societal realities. And therefore, we are not even afraid of exploiting our own people to whom we belong to. They've centralized everything to make it to us that what they have is the best thing. So some of the things that they talk about, even if you apply logic in it, you know that they get it wrong. On some of the issues that are in line with the African agenda, no continent, no country can develop using foreign education. No country can develop using foreign aid. No country can develop using foreign culture. It is time for Africans to realize this. Otherwise, we are going nowhere. Even a foreign language cannot be used by a country to develop. That is the issue. That is the product of our education system. If I speak my native language, other Africans will not understand it. That is the disconnection that exists. Swahili, for instance, there is a progress in East Africa where so many countries now have adopted it as official language. It is being taught in schools, and that is empowering the young people in believing in a language. Language is very important. We have these problems, but it doesn't mean that we can't fix it. We can fix it. We just have to look inward. We have to start looking down, because relying on the West has not solved the problem. We have been portrayed as a continent in a way that there is no life in this continent. The continent is not developing. It is looked at as a continent that only has poverty in it. These are the images shown by the outside world about Africa. And this image must change. It must change in a way that if an image portrays poverty, it doesn't attract investors to come. Africa must have an image that attracts investment. Not foreign investment, but investment by Africans themselves. We have so many individuals living in the diaspora, and that is why I always make this call. Africa is the future for investment, but Africans have to take the lead in it. And I'm saying this because if you look at the mainstream media today, we have millions of people living in the streets of America as homeless. They do not want us to see that. They don't want us to see poverty existing in European countries. We've seen how some of these countries are. You know, they have their own issues that they find it difficult to solve among themselves. So that is why it's high time for us as Africans to develop media outlets among ourselves. And medias that are not in line with our principles, with our agendas, we have to kick them out of the continent. It's either they be neutral and show the beautiful part of the continent as well, or else they stay in their own countries. That is the fact. But we cannot just be here and being portrayed in a way that, you know, as if there is no life. So we must be aware of this. And the mainstream media have been the cause of most of the problems in Africa. They portray the Western world as if everything there is perfect, brainwashing the youth who doesn't have time to look in depth as to what is happening. So all these things are happening because of the mainstream media. So we must be aware of it now, develop media outlets and build up a network among themselves, and they have the African agenda forward. Then Africa can have a single voice.